Welcome back. Former Trump advisor Roger Stone vowing to fight a 7-count indictment from special counsel Robert Mueller. The charges include lying to Congress, witness tampering, and obstruction related to his alleged contact with WikiLeaks and the publishing of stolen Democratic emails. Joining me right now from the World Ag Expo in Tulare, California, is Congressman Devin Nunes, the ranking member on the House Intel Committee. And Congressman, it's always a pleasure to see you.
Great to be back with you this morning.
Well, I want to get your reaction to the Stone indictment, in particular because the special counsel charged Stone with lying to your committee in 2017, the House Intel Committee, about his interactions in 2016. Your reaction?
Well, for 2 years, our committee has been mocked by the left and the media as not a serious investigation. Yet, if you look at the indictments of the Russian actors, those came from our committee. That's stuff that the Republicans found. Now you look at Roger Stone. Roger Stone is kind of an odd political figure. He's one of these flamboyant guys who runs around and is kind of a press guy, kind of this type of guy, says a lot of things, and hangs out with some very scurrilous people. However, I think the Mueller investigation is really at the bottom of the barrel when they're looking at people like this, because we already found in our report that Roger Stone wasn't colluding with the Russians, which was the original intent of all this. Remember, supposedly Trump campaign operatives, so-called, were colluding with Russians. They must be embarrassed that they actually have to come to House Republicans in order to have us give them the information, the transcript, so that they go and get Roger Stone on a process foul that occurred in 2017 that Roger Stone himself is going to fight. The process of discovery is going to be fascinating in this case, and I can't wait to watch it.
Well, look, in testimony last summer to congressional investigators, Bruce Orr from the Department of Justice revealed that the FBI and justice lawyers were warned about a series of contacts, were warned that the dossier that they were using to get a wiretap on Carter Page was paid for by the Clinton campaign and the Democrats. This very important piece of information has not been focused on at all. Let me ask you about that, because the redacted version of the FISA application released shows the FBI did not mention a connection to the DNC or Clinton.
Yeah, so this is the mainstream media for the last couple weeks, and the left have been ignoring this, I think. So let me try to walk people through real quickly, if you allow me. So why is this significant? It's significant because for the last 2 years, through press reports and through testimony to Congress, the FBI, DOJ, top leaders have continued to say that they did not have the Steele dossier, the Clinton and Democratic paid-for dirt. They didn't have this until September, October. They weren't sure when they got it. We know now when they got it. So remember, at the end of July, they open up an investigation, end of July of 2016, in the middle of a campaign. They use the intelligence services in this country, and they target the Trump campaign at the end of July. At the same time, Bruce Orr, the top career official in the Department of Justice, is acting like some kind of secret agent, meeting with this Clinton Oppo guy, okay, who's digging up dirt. He's taking custody of this information, feeding it directly into the FBI and DOJ. So I'm happy that now DOJ is going to take seriously lying to Congress. They're going to go after Roger Stone for lying to Congress and obstructing a congressional investigation. They need to start with themselves. They need to start with the former leadership of the Department of Justice and the FBI. If I were them, if you want to see lying to Congress, I would start with Strzok and Page, two of the investigators that were fired, who hated Trump, did not want to see him elected. And I would also go after the top leadership of the FBI and DOJ at the time.
But isn't it true that two of the members from the FBI who were involved in this counterintelligence investigation into Trump, based on unverified and salacious information from this dossier, now those two people work for Robert Mueller?
Oh, yes, Maria. Very good point that the media continues to ignore. So not only is it two of the people, well, first of all, there was 4, 2 got fired, but one of them is actually the top person, the number two, the deputy, Mueller's deputy, that the press and the left calls the attack dog, the pit bull.
Andrew Weissman.
This is a joke, okay? So yeah, this is a joke. We need to know what's in the scope memo, okay? Did these guys, did the two left, because the other two got fired, or the two that left on the Mueller council, special counsel, were they involved in the chain of custody of this information? Because they were involved. They got the information from Bruce Orr. Did they disclose this to the FBI? Because remember, let me make the major point. None of this was disclosed to the FISA court when they went and spied on the Trump campaign using these very sophisticated tools that we have in our arsenal that are supposed to target terrorists and other bad guys. They use to target a political campaign operative, okay, on the Trump campaign using this dirt. These people were all in the chain of custody of this information. It's absolutely ludicrous. So if this doesn't get solved, here's what's happening, Maria.
Yeah.
Here's what's happening. If the Department of Justice and the FBI do not go after and prosecute these people for lying to Congress, if they don't clean up their act and actually get down to really, are you going to find Russian collusion or are you not with Trump, because you haven't found any yet, are you going to go after the Clinton campaign for colluding with Russians? Is anyone going to do that at the Department of Justice, FBI? We have to have a Department of Justice and FBI in this country that 99.9% of Americans have trust and confidence in, that they're impartial, that they're not going to be political.
Will William Barr do it, the incoming AG? Will Robert Mueller investigate this within his special counsel report?
Well, Mueller definitely won't do it. I mean, they're so tainted already by this. I can't imagine that they would.
What about Bill Barr,
let's not forget.
AG? Where's the accountability, Congressman?
I don't know if Bill Barr will. I hope so. I hope Bill Barr will do it. But remember, our investigation is not over. The walls, we continue every day to get more and more information. The walls continue to close in. Let me mention something else that I think is very important.
Real quick.
We don't even know what Mueller's doing. We haven't seen the scope memo. We don't know what he's been given to do, right? We don't know what he's supposed to be up to.
Right.
I think it's possible that the Steele dossier, the Clinton dirt, is what's in that scope memo that they refuse to make public to the American people and even refuse to brief Congress on.
All right, hold that thought. We're going to take a short break and come right back with Devin Nunes, Congressman.